Welcome to Transformation Live, just playing a track as you arrive. If you're on Facebook, see if you can find in the descriptions the place where you can give StreamYard, which is where we're streaming this, permission to use your name. And introduce yourselves as you arrive. Where in the world are you? We're here in Topanga, LA. Very excited. So I can see Parisa, hi Parisa, Tessa, Layla. There's a few Facebook users, I don't know your names, you could post your names. Karen Smith, hey Karen. Somebody's in LA as well. So, welcome to Transformation Live, and I'm here with my good friend and Buddhist monk, Siddha healer, Seth. How are you doing, Seth?
Hi everybody, how are you doing? So good to see you. So happy to have Keith here. This is amazing. Really happy this is happening. This is a long time in the making. So it's good to be here together.
Yeah, Seth and I first connected through Earth Elders, and we felt the call to work together. We formed something called The Portal, which was an awesome platform in Facebook, where we did monthly events, meditations, healings, and a big group healing every month. And this is actually the first time we've been together physically, and it was awesome.
Yeah, we just officially physically met like an hour ago, but he looks just like his picture. Yeah, everything's good, and even just energetically, I mean, I feel like we've known each other very intimately over these past probably even like a year now, right? So yeah, it's just amazing. It's amazing to be in person, to be holding this virtual event. We're also going to be doing an in-person event tomorrow night in LA. So if anybody's in Los Angeles and wants this as a live experience, we are doing our first live event together, which is also super exciting.
Yeah. I'll post the link for that later in the comments. And so today we are going to be speaking about a spiritual topic of soul retrieval, and hearing Seth's views on this area. So it's going to be half an hour of us talking about healing, and then we're going to be opening up the space to everyone. And this is work for anyone else you want to bring, guys. You can share this wherever you're watching it on Facebook, or you can message a couple of people. It's a free event, Transformation Live. Let us spread the word to those that need the healings. The second part will be healing to everyone, and we'll be taking your comments in the feed, and Seth opens up an amazing space called Siddha Healing. What is Siddha Healing, Seth?
I have no idea. So when I was in India, I actually received this training. I was in the Himalayas, and I just met this teacher. His name's Danny. And he was living, with this great Siddha master. His name was Avdut Baba Shivananda, who was a student of Baba Nityananda. And, I received this really intensive training that involved sacred geometry, it involved crystal healing, it involved connecting to guides, it involved really in-depth chakra learning. It involved learning about entities and different levels of consciousness. And the way that Siddha healing works is that it really just kind of opens up this portal, and this is really the only way I've ever been able to describe it. That it just feels that energy opens up, and it allows this vibration to come through. The best way that I've ever found to describe it is that if there is some sort of a oneness, right? If there's a God, if there's a source, if there's a center that all of this is an external projection of, right? If all of this is projecting outwards, but it's all projecting from some sort of a central core unified energy, right? Parallel lines meet at infinity. That point of infinity, the Siddha healing feels like it's connecting to that point, that place where everything is one, the place where things arrive from and the place that things depart back to. And opening up that frequency and just holding and projecting that frequency into the space, into the room, into the multiple energetic layers of the bodies in front of me. And really just allowing that vibration of oneness to do the work. We know with a singing bowl, if you hit a singing bowl and there's another one in the room, it starts vibrating. So if you hold this vibration of oneness, you start vibrating with that same frequency. And all of the parts of you that are not vibrating with that oneness slowly kind of get hit into and slowly kind of like have to release and then have to get into that same frequency. So it's kind of, I think that's why it's called channeling work, right? Is because we are just a channel for another vibration, that it's not me giving the healing, so to say. I'm more like the hose that the thing is flowing through. But that being said, as the Siddha healings happen, and I know this happens with, I think, all kinds of healing, we also are privy to a lot of information of what's happening. We see a lot, we feel a lot. And then I can also, aim that hose at different things. So I can, as I'm giving a healing, feel maybe someone's ancestor come in, or I can feel a trauma or an injury in somebody's body, and I can kind of almost like aim the vibration into that spot a little bit and kind of move with it. So it's kind of this play of passive surrender and channeling, and then also kind of active guiding of the flow a little bit. I think is the best way I can describe it. It's kind of difficult
amazing
to talk about.
It's been very powerful, the spaces we've opened together when we open the Siddha healing, and then we bring in my guides like I normally do on Transformation Live, which is an opportunity for you guys to experience the intuitive healing in a new way with this. So just let us know, what does it feel like to have a combination of Siddha healing with intuitive guides. And so that's the second part, and then in the third part we're going to be bringing Aviva into the live room. Aviva lives in the UK, and she's here to experience of root healing, so you can understand what root healing really is and how quickly and powerfully you can get to the source of issues that have been carried a long time. So that's the 3 steps that you'll be going through with Transformation Life. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an honour to be here with you, and I'm just gonna ask Seth a couple of questions so you can get to know him a little bit more if you're new to this. But you were a Buddhist monk for 10 years, right, in Europe?
Yeah, almost 8 years in a monastery in Germany as a Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk, and then I lived with Thich Nhat Hanh in France in Plum Village for a little bit. Then I traveled to India, and I was about 2 years in India, and also into Australia. And it was, I went India, Australia. And while I was in India, I actually ended up disrobing, so I'm currently not a monk anymore. I really had this feeling that form served me, and that I was ready to move on. And that I didn't need it as protection. I didn't want to be wearing some sort of a spiritual costume, that I wanted to, be as unassuming as possible, and really let, whatever practice or work that I was doing speak for itself.
Yeah. And then your healing journey, like the energetics, did that begin after the time?
It's interesting. It's one of those things where it's hard to find a beginning point to it all. My childhood, was filled with a lot of psychic experiences and a lot of supernatural experiences, and
Mm-hmm.
I also incurred a lot of, I would even say, like emotional trauma at a very young age, which kind of like in retrospect jump started this healing journey that I kind of got front loaded with a lot of lessons that I had to learn how to navigate and heal through,
Mm-hmm.
to already at a very young age kind of know what that path looked like. And then my time as a monk, that was more about healing myself and dealing with my own emotional themes. And
Mm-hmm.
we also had an acupuncture and massage clinic, so I learned how to heal the body as well and really worked with people's bodies. And it kind of only officially started looking like healing. I received Reiki attunements in like 2001, but it really only started looking like healing when I learned the Siddha healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like all the meditation work I did is kind of the foundation of that. It's the base. And then the healing work, it was kind of like the house built on that foundation, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And, I got this training while I was in India. I never expected to be a healer. I never expected to use any of these skills. But what actually happened is that people began asking me to give them healings. People were asking me what I was up to in India and like, what were you doing in these different places? And I mentioned I did this healing training, and they would say, can you give me a healing?
Mm-hmm.
And this became this almost like mantra that the universe kept saying, can you give me a healing? That I just kept meeting people asking me to give them healings. And then it just kind of like became this thing that I started doing.
Mm.
And it took off from there, and when I received, when I went back to Boston, actually, I received a request from a friend of mine who owned a yoga studio, and she asked if I could do this for a group. And at that time, I had never done it for a group, so I had actually said, no, I don't know how to do that, and she said, please, if it doesn't work, it's my fault, it's fine. So I gave a healing for the first time to a group, and I saw that the same principles that I was applying to individual healings, I could just project that energy into a group of people. And then that's just kind of, taken off from there. And during the pandemic, my biggest healing reached about 3,000 people. And and I see that there is no limit to the amount of space that this can hold, that, it could be 1 million people. If they were all tapped in, like, this could go anywhere. Time and space don't exist in the same way in the healing space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So and now here I am in LA, and I'm actually here. I was invited to Topanga originally to lead an energy healers training. So I actually arrived in LA originally because somebody asked me to teach other people how to be an energy healer. And then I ended up just staying here. So even my healing path is why I'm in LA. And again, I was asked sort of thing. So it's just been an interesting flow of following the invitations,
And what are you currently up to with your healing work here?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I actually transitioned back like into the matrix, as it were, and I'm working an actual normal job at a treatment center, a clinical psychiatric treatment center. So I'm kind of holding this almost like a metaphysical space inside of like a very regulated 3D world, which is fascinating. And I'm also, however, teaching at 3 different studios here, the Mindry in Malibu, the Calming Spot in Playa Vista, and Unplug in Santa Monica. And I'm doing meditation with healing and running events also, and also doing online work with clients. But, I think that healing work, it's very multidimensional. It doesn't have to look like me sitting here channeling Siddha energy to you. Healing work can also be our diet, right? It can also be working with our emotions. It can also be, learning to communicate better and set boundaries, and that it integrates into all aspects of our life. So I found that it's, in retrospect, looking at my purpose in my life, I see that it's not just one thing. It can look like 1 million different things that are all leading to the same point of oneness, of healing, of love, of lightness, of infinity, of, whatever words we want to use to describe the same thing in the middle of all of it, the place that we're all moving towards ultimately.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome to Transformation Live, brother.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
And For those of you that are new to me, I run an international healing academy called Intuity, and I train people to live in the heart, to develop the senses, to work with guides. I have these amazing guides that will be with us today, that will come into your space, so you can start connecting with them now. And I teach a wide range of different concepts, and I'm here in LA, so that this weekend I can go to Joshua Tree as well to do a soul retrieval retreat. So we're going to be speaking about, well, what is the topic of soul retrieval? What is it when we aren't complete in ourselves, where part of us is not embodied in this vessel because of trauma? And it's trauma that causes soul loss. And I have my own way of teaching this, and I'm really interested to hear your sort of take on it, Seth.
Firstly, I want to say that I'm so happy to have Keith here. And for those of you that know me, I had Lyme's disease, and I had a solid year that I was struggling quite a bit. And Keith was one of the healers that I turned to for healing. And I remember our first session, and I just felt this like an energy scanning my body, and then go up into my diaphragm and start scanning like the inside of my body. And as that was happening, Keith says, all right, now the guides are working on the inside of your diaphragm. And I was like, oh my God, this is real, okay, like like I'm feeling this thing, and he's very specifically naming it. So I also, besides seeing Keith as a friend and a collaborator, he also really supported me with his healing gifts. And I just felt that it's important to also just acknowledge and thank him for that. And the idea of soul retrieval, I like to talk about it. It's if you go outside and it starts to downpour and it's raining, you get all wet and you're miserable and you're suffering. So you go and you get an umbrella and you open this umbrella, and now you're dry.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go back inside of your house and you still have this umbrella open because you don't want to get rained on again. And then you go outside tomorrow when it's sunny out and you still have this umbrella up because you don't want to get rained on again. Mm. And we incur reactions to experiences that get locked in place. And that's what trauma is that there's a situation that happens that we don't fully get to process, and we're holding on to it. We're holding on to this moment in time that's already passed, this painful moment that's already passed. And we're holding all of these defenses around it. We're holding the umbrella open even though the sun's out. We're holding these defenses even though they're not needed anymore. And holding those defenses, it requires a lot of energy. It requires a lot of attention. It requires you to hold on to a story that it's not even a real applicable story anymore. It's not directly connected to your environment or the people anymore. So slowly seeing the stories, the reactions that we're holding in our mind, in our brain, in our body, recognizing them, seeing where they came from and seeing how they don't apply anymore, and then slowly working with them to release, to allow new information in, to allow new experiences in, to also learn to become confident in oneself, so that if a storm does come, I know that I can pick up an umbrella, but then I can put it down afterwards. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of the point, the way that I see it. It's learning to pick up the tools and then put them back down, and not be holding all these tools and things, afraid that wearing the suit of armor. Someone just said to me, like, a suit of armor will protect you, but you can't make love in a suit of armor. True. And it's like, if you're holding all of this stuff, you're not alive anymore. You're not here. You're not touching the world. You're not experiencing things freely. Right? We're not free anymore.
No, stuck. Yeah, we're just
stuck
in this fixed perception, and that's you were speaking the same language here for sure around soul retrieval, and for me, it's very deep trauma that happens, and it can be this life, to be past life. Often we bring in a part of ourselves to this life, and part of us isn't even born physically into this body because we've got so much trauma that we're carrying from the past. And then we've got our ancestors. The ancestors can go through trauma, and then that traumatic way of being is passed down, and so we take that on at a very young age. And so, you know, in my work, these are the three areas that so commonly come up. And so the trauma's created, and then, like with Seth, within the language I use with Intuity, he's talking about protection. So like, yeah, we then protect ourselves because we don't want to feel this deep terror or shame or anger, and so we protect ourselves, and the protection leads to us being a role in the world. It's not who we are. We can get by. We can have the umbrella, as he's saying, and get by, but it's not our truest nature. And what we're here, both Seth and I, really is to help you become the truest you by releasing the stuff that's in the way, getting underneath the protections and dealing with the trauma. And you'll see a demonstration of one way of doing this with Aviva later. And soul retrieval is, for me, like a very profound experience. It goes very, very deep into the traumas and helping you shift them. And when you do that, when you truly get to the roots, then you create space, and the true parts of us can sort of like rebirth into us. So soul retrieval's it's like bringing back a part of our soul, our expression, our purpose into our heart, and letting it integrate into the vessel. And that can bring qualities that we haven't connected with. I remember, like, years ago, I was asking people, I was in this discovery, what is joy? It's like I just felt a bit flat, a bit disconnected, and joy wasn't a readily available thing for me. And yeah, sure, you know, I could have a drink or go out and experience, but it didn't seem real. And so, like, when there's soul loss, there's a disconnection from part of what you could be if you were to bring that back inside you. And when you do, it's profound. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience.
Yeah, and there's different ways and there's different levels to it all. I'm also lighting some copal here, both for blessings and for mosquitoes. So when you see smoke kind of coming in, that's what's happening. I think that there's kind of this dual thing where there's an aspect of this that you need to do on your own. There's an aspect of this that is your work. And then there's also an aspect of this that others can do with you or support you in, or even in little parts do for you. So I feel as I do these healings that there's some times where, things will just move off of somebody's body and they're gone forever, and that's that.
Yeah.
Right? And there's other times where there's like a fire and I put out the fire, and as soon as I walk away, the fire lights again, and I'll put out the fire, and then the fire lights again. And then I'll kind of look at this person and be like, there's something that you need to do with that. That you have inner work to do. You need to change your beliefs, your stories, your behaviors around something. So I always find it's important to highlight the fact that, people such as Keith and myself, we can support and we can help. And I have done healings to people where there's chronic pain that they've had that's just gone forever, and that's that. So there are times where the thing happens. But I'd say the general flow and the general thrust of things is that we help bring people back to these open, neutral states of lightness, of possibility, of potential. But then it also requires you to grow, to learn, to practice, to do new things, to change the way that you're also living your life. So it's a partnership. I think there's a lot of misunderstandings of healers in that, there are these people or things that you go to and you get the thing and then it's done and you're now healed and that's that. Besides it really being this work that we do together, it's a partnership, it's a dialogue, it's a dance, and everyone has a role and a responsibility. It makes me sad sometimes that I see people giving away their power, giving away their responsibility to healers, to spiritual teachers, to those who they deem have the answers. Instead of realizing there are parts that we are going to help with, and then there's parts that you need to help yourself with. That there's no one-stop shops in all of this, that it's all a continual lifelong journey. And one of the best sentences I've heard to describe this is, you can't do it alone and nobody can do it for you. And I think that really sums it up, right? Is you can't do it alone, you need support, and nobody can do it for you. There is also your own work that has to be done. Both are important.
Very true. Yeah, on this topic I speak regularly about the stuff that's anchored as opposed to that which is not anchored, and the guide work we do in these spaces is largely into the stuff that's unanchored, so that can just come out, and the stuff that's anchored you need to trace, you need support often with, because it's hard to trace these things ourselves, because they're like buried in our unconscious, in our blind spots, and so that's the area where it's 100% responsibility. Like, you have created your energetic space and you can shift it, you can create it differently, and have that support from a healer to help you to see and access the places that perhaps you just haven't wanted to go to yet. And in the topic of soul retrieval, that's very much the case. The deepest trauma may take the largest amount of allowing, of breathing into. Like, sometimes stuff can be really strong in the body, like deep grief, for example, that we've cleverly put aside for the last 2 decades, and then it's like, whoa, I'm actively facing my grief now, and it's difficult, and I don't want to be here. I want to do this because that's comfortable. And we're bringing you back again and again into this space of like, no, you're responsible, you need to allow it, we can support you. So yeah, great topic, bringing this up, Seth. So everyone take a breath. Such a beautiful space already energetically here, and I'm going to invite Seth formally open the Siddha portal.
Cool. So I invite you all to sit or lay in a way that feels comfortable, that feels stable, it feels relaxed. And I invite you just to close your eyes. Closing the eyes helps you turn inwards. With your eyes closed, I invite you to take a really deep breath in through the nose, down to the belly, out through the mouth. And really just allowing yourself to become present in your body, awareness, become present in your mind, become present with whatever is going on right now in your reality and yourself. I invite and I invoke Avdut Baba Shivananda, Sidguru Baba Nityananda, the Siddha lineage. I invite and I invoke the healing angels, the archangels, spiritual masters of all times, of all dimensions. Calling upon spiritual beings of the highest love, the highest light, the highest support, the highest purpose, the highest vibrations. Divine white light,
guide teams are in the space with you all. It's a space of love, power, the potential for you to transform deeper than you imagine, simply by choosing it in your heart. Remember, you choose it, guys. Start to bring your questions for healing into the feed. We'll get to as many as we can in a random order today.
Just taking a moment to allow yourself to receive the energy that's already available. Taking a moment to allow yourself to release what is already available to release. Just as when you shake a tree, all of the dead leaves fall off, just taking a moment to see what already can get released, relieved, by opening up, by breathing, by just letting this energy slowly into your fields, into your energy body, into your physical body, into your mental body, into your emotional body, down to a molecular level. Breathing deeply into your system, releasing deeply into your system. What if you already had everything you needed? What if you were exactly where you were supposed to be? What if there was nothing to do, nothing to be, and nowhere to go? What if you were already a part of everything?
So just within this space, if you comment nothing at all, you can receive very deep healing. Just through your intention, just by your choice. And if you're on replay, this will work exactly the same, and you can post as much as you want on replay. From time to time we check in. If you're here live, what are you experiencing that you'd like healing in? Tessa, you've got, say, a lower back pain and a headache. What can you feel as you tune into your back and your head? The guides are with you, the space is opening up to you. Someone on Facebook has deep PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I'd like you to tell us your name and put PTSD. And then as you feel into your body, what can you feel? What's the emotion that you're aware of underneath the stuckness?
allowing this flow of energy to enter into all parts of you that feel unsafe, allowing this loving, supportive, healing energy to flow into all parts of you that need support, allowing this energy to flow to all parts of you that feel sad and alone and lost, breathing and receiving this energy into all parts of you that need to be touched. Putting down the defenses, allowing the sun to radiate into the darkness.
Take a moment to be in your heart, the center of you, letting the light open a little more fully your heart. We need to live in the heart, to really be ourselves. And we can shut the heart down, use protections to traumas. Tell yourself, I choose right now to be in my heart, to trust myself, to love myself, to allow this healing to access these places within me. Your breath is your friend. Breathe deep. As you feel stuff come up, it's normal to feel it. The first stage of healing is allowing. Allow yourself to feel whatever comes today. Share with us. It's an interactive experience, Transformation Live. What are you experiencing? I can see Tony is coming to the end of his long marriage. What do you feel in your body around that, Tony? Share with us. Breathe into this. Someone on Facebook's asking for ancestral healing on betrayal. What's your name? Put betrayal next to your name. Where do you feel that in your body?
Allowing your feelings to be felt. Sometimes the monsters within us are just children crying for love.
Layla's asking for healing into an ulcer on the left lower jawline. Bring your attention here, Layla. What can you feel is being expressed through that ulcer? Can you feel the heat, the anger within that part of your body that's coming out? Anything else you can feel? We're going to lift the music here, guys. We're going to play this track as you drop deeper and deeper into yourself. feeling. I can see Lily. Hi Lily. If you want to share your name, you need to give permissions in the description of the Facebook area you're looking. And you are sharing, it's beautiful, experiencing so many tears when Seth said let this loving energy touch where that feels alone and unsafe. So many tears. Thank you for sharing that. What are the rest of you experiencing?
Rising Sun 33 is in the ER right now, about to get discharged, Bell's palsy among other things. This feminine Kundalini awakening, receiving this energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for receiving. Thank you for knowing that you are worthy of receiving. Breathing deep into your root chakra, allowing yourself to feel the deserving of love, deserving of support, deserving to receive. We are worth it because we are here. We are here because we are worth it. We deserve to receive. Breathing that into the root chakra, deserving, receiving, worthiness.
And Gisela has said she's the one feeling betrayal, unable to forgive those who hurt me. We see that, Gisela. We feel you. Allow yourself to feel yourself, that betrayal, that hurt, that inability to forgive, and all the emotions within that, the anger, and underneath that, the sadness, the deep pain. Breathe into all of this. See if you can move into the places you haven't wanted to go before.
Let this be the moment. Are you open to the possibility that this can shift for you right now? Are you open to the possibility that this is the moment you've been waiting for? Are you open to the possibility that you can receive and release and resolve this energy right now? Breathing into it.
Breathe deep. Trust yourself. We're seeing all your comments. Some of them we're picking, but we're with you all, live and on replay. We are holding the space for you to let go, to find yourself in new ways.
For those on Instagram, feel free to write any comments, anywhere you'd like this energy to go.
breath, guys. Wow, what an amazing connection this is. So amazing. I knew we had something. Now I'm getting it on a whole nother level. I can see some of you are really feeling it too. Someone's saying, didn't they love like this existed? This feels so pure. That light beam is perfect. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Well, okay, let's take a couple more comments.
Monica is healing for letting go of this karmic cycle for my 5-year relationship. Knowing that can take time, the unweaving of energies, the slow coming back into yours, and the slowly letting go of the parts and the frequencies that belong to somebody else. And also, it doesn't necessarily have to take time. It can also just take alignments. It can take decision. It can take the openness to, on a quantum level, just step fully into the next phase of reality. Being open to this being the moment to change everything right now, just by deciding it is so. Thank you.
B is feeling anger. Let it come, Bia. It's already there in you. Just let it come out. Face it. Express it if you can. Breathe into it, absolutely. You're doing great. And someone is struggling. I don't know your name on Facebook. Message us your name. Struggling because you resist. You resist because of something you don't want to experience. It's like it's the root emotions coming up against something. And just allow the resistance. Don't fight it. Love that part of you and tell yourself, I'm going to go beneath this today. I'm ready. If you are, of course, ready. Trust yourself. Love the resistance. It served you all this time getting through in life. And maybe you're ready to go back to what happened originally to cause that. We're sending so much love to you all.
Allowing this energy deeper and deeper. The love is here, the healing is here, the lightness is here, the space is here. Breathing into those parts, breathing into the density, breathing into the fear, breathing into the resistance, breathing into the distrust, letting yourself make a new experience, letting yourself allow this energy of healing, of love, of connection in to those deepest parts of yourself. Of the parts of yourself that you've locked away, to the fears, the guilts, the shames, the regrets, letting this energy in, letting yourself be free, letting yourself be touched, letting yourself be seen, letting yourself receive. You deserve it. Receive.
Some of you can go deeper. I can feel you're on the cusp. It's like, what is this? Can I trust this? If that's you, I'm speaking to you. Breathe. Go into it. that are gnarly, uncomfortable. So we up the tempo with the tracks, go to those difficult places, breathe deep. Kylie, I can see you struggling to let go, and it's fear. I can see fear in you that's at the source of this. Allow yourself to go to the fear. Can you go a little deeper? Karen's saying, you're both amazing, wow, the light. Lada's seen many angels. Tessa's saying, so powerful. Rachel, open to receiving complete healing from mitral valve. Some psychic surgery into your space. Explore what is within this for you, Rachel. What can you feel? What can you be responsible for? Lily's asking for the angels to help her feel her own love. If you're on replay, what are you experiencing? Charlie's letting go of resentment. Tessa's having whole body tingles, crying, body releasing. Thank you everyone for your comments. Keep bringing them in for this interactive chat show that you're in. Transformation Live with myself and Seth Monk. And you keep receiving the healing. The Siddha space is open. The guides are with you. And we're going to go into the third part of today, which is a demonstration of root healing. Root healing is the core of the work that I speak about in Intuity. We can work on the protections, but why work with the protection level when we can go to the source? And roots can be complex. They can have many different threads to them. But when we release a root, everything can change. It leads to profound, rapid healing. And it's one of the reasons I created Transformation Live, so that you can witness what's possible in this way. And so I typically bring in people that are new to working with me. And today we have Aviva. She lives in the UK and she's gone through some difficult times of late. And so I'm going to bring her to the live space. She can share with you a little about what she's going through, and then we're going to see how we can support tracing the roots. Welcome, Aviva.
Thank you so much.
How are you today?
Yeah, already feeling a bit better. I know we've got a bit of an echo.
Are you having an echo?
So,
Okay.
yeah, but it's okay.
Is everyone hearing that? Maybe that's because I'm on my let me see if I can solve that. Keep sharing.
Okay, so my 28-year relationship has ended. My husband moved out in December. Very quickly started dating within a few weeks. Oh, now I've lost you.
We can still hear. I'm going to mute myself.
There you go.
So that you can
okay,
speak,
okay.
and I think that should stop the echo.
Okay. Yes, so moved on very quickly, but I didn't know about that until May. And I've just been having a really difficult time letting it go. Even though it was a joint decision for us to split. I think Seth was saying earlier about so many things are interwoven, and I just can't release it. My mind's driving me crazy.
What is the emotion in your body as you speak?
Right now, sad. Mostly anger. I'm not generally an angry person, but I have felt so much anger, so much frustration, rejection.
And where in your body do you feel this anger, this rejection?
Often my stomach. I've had a lot of tummy aches, but very often the heart as well. Today, very, very much the heart. I've got 2 adult daughters as well who are really hurting. They were also unaware of what their dad was doing for a few months, why he kept saying he was too busy to see them, and all the lies thrown in. And
so the anger is it's not the core emotion, but it is so strong that we need to start here. Okay, so focus on the solar plexus and the heart, and I'm going to play a track, and you can start to trace this back through this life to the strongest moment you felt this anger, which may or may not be to do with your husband. Okay, be open to the fact that it may be something else much younger, and you'll see where you end up. So you're going to go to either the strongest moment, which may be this moment where you found out, or it could be something entirely different, or the first moment in your past where you experienced this. Okay, is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
So close your eyes, take some breaths. Imagine yourself spiraling back through these parts of your body, solar plexus, your heart area, past all the times you felt this back to the strongest or the original moment of either. And you're going to trust your senses of seeing, feeling, hearing, knowing, to bring you information about when this moment was that you most need to reconnect with. So Viva, what have you found something? Is something coming into your awareness?
Yeah, I think really the day that he came to tell us that he'd been dating for a few months. But the other thing that came up, which I haven't thought about very much, was maybe the day when my dad first told me that he didn't love my mum anymore.
Very good. So you've got this recent strong moment with your ex-husband. So you're holding that in one part of this work, and then you've gone back further. And so what age were you when this happened with your dad?
About 9 years old.
Yeah. To be with that 9-year-old with holding an awareness of the adult you, but being with this young 9-year-old with love and acceptance as you are now, permission for them to open up, to share with you the things they probably never said, or if they did say them, they weren't received, they weren't heard by those around her at that time, so they got stuck inside. Breathing. The first stage of healing is allowing, giving her the space to allow herself to feel what's there and to express these things to you. That's it, encouraging her to open up, to say what she needs to say to you, maybe to her dad, to her mum, whatever wasn't said at the time, creating the space for her to be free to do this, Aviva. speaking to me, Aviva? What are you seeing? What's going on?
Shock, confusion, and why I wasn't aware of the whole picture.
And this is the you is the 9-year-old, just to be clear. Yeah. So let her breathe into the shock, confusion, thoughts around why she wasn't aware. And underneath that, see if you can start to connect with the deep grief. Can you feel that deep grief in her? Encourage her to bring this forward. She doesn't need to hide from this any longer, Aviva. What does she need from you in order to be able to connect fully with this grief?
I'm not sure. Maybe forgiveness of my mum. Just then, in the last couple of minutes, it was much more strong in my heart again to do with my ex. And the last few months, it was hard to keep drawing myself back to the younger me. It became very strong in my heart more recently.
Yeah, and you have both of the moments, so you can be with the most recent one and allow that. Can you feel the grief in that part of you?
Absolutely.
And asking this part of your consciousness, so the adult you, what qualities does she need to be able to fully go into that grief and to start to release it from your higher self, from the part of your imperfection, like love, forgiveness, trust.
Those were the two words I just thought of.
The first two ones. Love and forgiveness. Yeah. Okay, so love will come, forgiveness won't come straight away. What quality is needed first before forgiveness will come?
Understanding, acceptance.
Okay, so we're going to bring love, understanding, acceptance. And what about trust?
Yeah, actually, when you've known someone for so many years. Sorry.
Let it come. We'll let it all come, Aviva.
And then find out that what you thought was happening wasn't happening. you question how you can trust people moving forwards.
Absolutely, I get it. So the trust has been lost in this connection, and then you're feeling about how to trust others. And so the main two qualities are love and trust. And you said it, understanding and acceptance. So we're going to bring in those 4. And then we're going to check in with the forgiveness after that, okay? And it's coming from the higher self, the part of you that's perfect, that's already complete, that you will become one day when you shift all of these wounds and you embody who you fully are in this vessel. And it's going to come into your heart. And from your heart into this past you. And remember, you're holding both parts, the child, 9-year-old, and the adult. And right now you're focused on the adult. So start with the love in this next track, one at a time. Allowing the grief to be felt. Bring a message to Ibiza.
Yeah, I want to thank you for being so open and so vulnerable, and for letting this process happen openly like this. And really all that I'm feeling is that feeling of sadness, that feeling of hurt, that feeling of loss. What you are perceiving as an inability to trust is actually just a resistance to feel that pain. Once that pain is felt more fully, once those feelings really felt, that's a part of you, that's the child, that's a part of you that really just wants to be seen and heard and felt. And the more that you're able to connect with that child, the more that you're able to connect to that part of you, to see her, to heal her, to feel her. It's not about trusting other people. It's about how much you can embrace her, that part of yourself. And when that part of yourself feels resolved, the trusting is just going to be there automatically.
Is it not like trusting oneself to go to the pain?
It's really about building up a relationship with that girl inside of you, because she's felt really alone with this pain for a long time. It's almost like she needs to trust you. Why has she been alone with the pain all these years? Why haven't you talked with her? Why haven't you built up a relationship with her and helped her through that until now? So it's almost like she needs to learn that you're there for her. she needs to learn that you're gonna be there for her as long as she needs you to be there. She needs to learn that you're stable, you're a stable presence in her life. And then that part of you will start to know that it can trust, and it'll start to open up to you. So it's really about building a relationship with that part of yourself so that it can integrate.
So being with that young you now, and holding the older you, but being with the young you, letting her express this stuff that Seth is guiding you into, doesn't need to take a lot of time, but it does need to be given the permission to come forward for her to express whatever there is around trust, not trusting or not having you there. To be with the 9-year-old when she found out about her dad, everything she feels in that space that you blocked out before, allowing the qualities of love and trust to arrive in her, along with all the expression that she needs to bring. Let the anger be felt to you and expressed to you from her. But the anger's on top of the grief. Can you feel that anger, Aviva, in the 9-year-old?
Yeah.
What does she need to say to you about this?
To let it go.
And to let it go, is there anything she needs to say first?
No, it's not coming.
That's okay. She's just not been able to express for so long that it's very unfamiliar to her. What was it like to be that 9-year-old? Ask her. What was she thinking? What was she experiencing? What was she feeling at that time?
Like it was silly not to have known.
Okay, so the silliness is there, and it's the silliness that's blocking you. You don't want to be silly, right? Allow to be with silly. It's okay to feel silly. It's okay to feel the fear, the anger, all of it. Underneath this is the grief starting to surface. I can feel it in you. Can you feel that coming up?
I feel very hot all of a sudden.
So the first stage of forgiveness is starting to come from your higher self through your heart into this younger you, but it's self-forgiveness. It's, why didn't I know that sort of area is receiving the quality of forgiveness? You don't need to hold that against yourself any longer, Aviva. Do you feel able to start to receive the self-forgiveness?
What would you say? What would you say to a little girl? If you walked into a room and there's a little girl who just found out that her parents were splitting, that her whole life was shattering, Would you go up to that little girl and say to her, let go of that? Would you go up to that little girl and say, I'm so sorry, I'm here for you, I see you, I feel you, I understand you, it's so much. You're really talking to that part of yourself the way that you would talk to another child, the way that you would care for a little being outside of yourself, holding that feeling.
That's it, starting to land, starting to feel her shifting here as you bring her this. How's she doing?
Okay, good.
You say a little more. Is she looking lighter? Does she need anything else?
Yeah, looking lighter. Yeah, connected very much again to more recent adult me. Felt very hot again. Yeah, I think a lot of the grief is actually because I thought we'd still be friends. And he's made it very clear he doesn't want that. So that came up quite a lot.
Okay, so that's the adult you and your current grief, so holding that. And now asking the younger you if she's ready to forgive her dad, her mum. Is she ready to receive forgiveness for the others in her life within herself? Is she ready to let go of what she's been holding on to, or does she need something else first?
I think she can let go.
Okay. So asking her, is she ready to go into the light? To be free of that place the 9-year-old was when she found out. Ask her, yes or no, you're listening in your heart to the answer.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so in this next track, give her a hug, let her lift into the light. You can imagine a beautiful master of light coming to support her, and as she goes to the light, she's no longer stuck in that place, and everything she experienced can lift out of her body, and it will start to ripple up the timeline from her to you, and it will reach the place of the you with your eggs, and you're going to feel a lot of release, a lot of letting go. Everything that's linked to this can come out of you now. qualities you gave to the younger you land into this you from recent time. She's letting go. This may not be the only thread you have into this situation with your ex, but this one is fully releasing you. Did you tune into the you from more recently? How do they look?
Yeah, I definitely feel lighter. Definitely.
Very good. So now allow it to fully land in your body, through the stomach, through the heart where you originally started tracing this. This may take a little time to integrate, maybe some days. You've done really, really well today, Eva. It's not easy to come on a live space like this and have healing with us for the first time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both of you. I really appreciate.
So just taking a moment to let this fully land in you. You see, guys, root healing is possible because we have a moment in time where something happened, you can't be with it. In Viva's case, the 9-year-old finding out about her dad, making herself feel silly, protecting herself because she doesn't want to feel silly. And then all these decades later, an experience with another man, her ex-husband, reawakening the pain that was felt when you were 9. So we can always shift roots, they can be traced, even when they're outside of this life. And then we become more whole. So what's going to happen over these days is you're going to be grounding more of who you are, from your higher self, and not needing to protect yourself anymore either. And you may notice some differences, and it'd be great to bring you back on a live stream, maybe in about a week, maybe next Tuesday, Wednesday, so people can hear what's landed for you, what's permanent from this. And yeah, we thank you so much for being here. Anything you want to say, Seth?
Thank you for saying yes to this process.
Honestly, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Aviva. I'm going to take you off. You can stay for the moment, but I'm just going to take you off the live with us. And hopefully this doesn't take you completely. There we go. Yeah. Okay, everyone, take a breath. What was that like for you, watching Root Healing with Aviva? What was it like being in the incredible space? I mean, wow, that was something else, next level. My brother Seth Monk, and we're going to be doing this together tomorrow in person in LA. There's a rap singer called Mashi. Mashi's her name? Yeah.
Mashi, yeah, she does rap yoga, actually. She's kind of a sensation out here in LA, so it's going to be a yoga session to really get into the body and to awaken the body. And then people get to lay down and relax, and we'll be doing some healing work together on everyone, with also some singing bowls, some singing, and it's going to be really powerful. So if anyone's in LA, make sure to check that out.
Yeah, and Anna Duncan and Samantha Parker are flying in tonight, so they'll be singing at that event. And It's one of many, hopefully, that we create on this trip, and we're gonna go to Burning Man, get some spontaneous gigs there. So yeah, I expect Seth will be back in Transformation Live again if you'd like to be. Yeah, that was
Sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Just before we go, if anyone that's been watching wants to work with you, how's that possible?
Yeah, you can reach out to me also on Facebook, on my Instagram, Seth Infinity Monk, my email, sethmonkmail@gmail.com, my website, sethmonk.com. I also do one-off sessions with people, and I also do a 2-month transformational process called the Spiral, which we go up through all the emotional themes of the chakras each week, focusing on different themes and really thoroughly working through our entire energetic system. So yeah, if you're feeling called, I'd love to work with you too. And again, I'm just so honored to be here in person with my brother Keith, to be sitting in the same sunlight under the same earth, doing this work. And yeah, definitely it feels different together. I mean, it already felt good, but it just feels so natural, and the synergy and the flow is just yeah, I think we come from the same planet, so it's good.
Certainly meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're in LA or even in anywhere in the world and want to jump in last minute to the Soul Retrieval Retreat, it's happening this Friday, this Saturday in Joshua Tree. Message me if you'd like to find out more. And Transformation Live is once a month. It's usually the third Thursday. We moved it today just to sync our schedules. It's free. Share it. Let's get everyone who's up for some powerful healing and joining these events. And the next Intuitive event is Intuitive Bliss. That's the first Wednesday, and this month we have the first time ever Samantha Parkin leading Intuitive Bliss with the Seraphim, with these beautiful angels, and that's available for 24 hours. So schedule it in your diary, look out for the emails, the posts. It's been an amazing experience to be here. Thank you all for joining, for all of your comments and all your love, and we couldn't do this without you. And we will see you all soon.
Thank you.